Hi, Janome Skyline S7 owners. If you found this video and you're watching it, this is going to walk you through a few of your settings that you can do on your machine to customize it more the way you want. So to get into your settings, you press the set button here. The first screen that you come to is has a contrast. You can change the brightness of your screen here. This is a volume. You can make it softer, you can make it louder if you want. This is inches to millimeters when it shows certain functions on the thing. A lot of people like sewing in millimeters. Most of the world does. The few of us over in the United States, we do inches. The next screen over here is a standby timer. This is really nice if you know you're going to be away from your machine for a little bit. You can set this down for 5-6 minutes. I mean, it'll go down as far as 1 minute, so that if you're not utilizing your machine, it'll go into the standby mode, and it saves like your screen, the lighting, things like that. I normally keep mine at about 8 minutes for myself. The touchscreen calibration, if you go in here, there's like 6 or 8 different points on there that you use to calibrate your screen. This format right here is to format a USB stick that'll allow you to transfer any stitches that you may have created in that additional software over to your machine, and then it would read from that machine. I'll try to do a video on that sometime to show you how to actually create stitches and bring them over. Quiet mode on and off. Now it is off, and that was how I was able to set the volume right here. If I turn this on and go back, now I can't change it because it is in quiet mode. So I'm going to turn that off. This right here is just to turn on and off your lights, so you can select which ones you want to turn off and which ones you want to turn on. I like mine all on all the time. This one right here allows you to check your select your background color. I like yellow. And then this right here resets all of your machine to factory defaults. This next setting over here is the auto tension. Most of the time you won't need to adjust this, but there are certain fabrics that you might want to either make the tension heavier or looser. You know, it all depends on how, what you want your stitch to look like. The needle up-down position when you stop, there's times where you'd want it to stop in the down position and times that you want it to stop in the up position. So you can change this easily and set it the way you prefer it to be. The adjustable startup speed. So when either you hit your start button or your foot pedal, it says this is the speed that I'm going to start the machine at, and then it'll gradually get up to the speed. So if you just had both of these on, high, and your machine setting up here was on high, as soon as you press the button, it would take off going. So if you want a second, especially if you're using the start-stop button, to be able to have time to get your hands in the correct position before the machine starts really flying, it's good to select a slower speed. I'm not a slow speed person, so that's not for me. The next one is your foot height for pivoting. You can change this, so if you're working on a project where you're going to be doing some pivoting, like appliques or something, and it's thick fabric, you may want to, or a lot of layers, you may want to increase this up to where it's, it's 6 millimeters. I don't typically use those types of heavy fabrics or those type of projects where I have to really worry about it too much. The foot pressure, this is just set, for your automatic. Most fabrics will work on this. For lighter weight fabrics, or if I'm going to be doing a lot of curves, I do lessen that foot pressures. That allows me more control for the fabrics going through. Now, the variable ZZ sensitivity, That is a feature when you're doing certain types of quilting, where you use your knee lift to control the width of that zigzag. And I'll try to do a video showing that and how it works later on. The next one is a thread cutter auto lock, so that if you've got your auto lock on, this will cut your thread after you stop, and it finishes off the auto lock if you have it turned on. If you don't want your thread to automatically cut, then turn it off. Favorite stitch adjustment. If you have this turned on and say you like your straight stitch at 3 millimeters with just the pressure foot pressure just slightly a little bit, or you want to move your needle a little bit over to the right or a little bit over to the left, you can do that and save your stitches. This way, when you go to that stitch, it'll automatically default to what you're wanting, your stitch that you have. And then resume mode on or off. Resume. This is good because when you turn on your machine, if you have resume mode on, when you first turn on your machine, it'll ask you, do you want to resume the last stitch that you did? If you say yes, it'll take you to that stitch, and you can just continue on with your project. Now, this last screen over here is to select your language. Look, this is a very good screen to remember and find your language on here and know where it's at, because if little ones sometimes come in and push buttons and play and touch screens and stuff, and if somebody set it to Turk, and you turn on your machine, you might not recognize anything that was said. So if you find your language, which mine is English, I know that it's the top left language on here. Know it so that if anything happens and you can't read what's there, you know how to reset your language. Okay? And to save all the changes that you do, you just simply hit OK, which will take you out. That's it for this video, and we'll be making another to show you some more great features of this Janome Skyline S7. Hope to see you then. Bye.